Notre Dame, just have a pity party. This is the third Saturday in October where we do not give a flip about Notre Dame because this is the SEC water cooler podcast for the rest of us. Find us online at thirdsaturdayinoctober.com, on social media at TSIO Pod, on Venmo at TSIO Pod if you want to support the show, or buymeacoffee.com/TSIO Pod. Or better yet, share this episode with a Notre Dame fan. I am Bradley here with Jared. Jared, how are you?
Greetings. I don't have any sympathy for Notre Dame. I think what bothers me about Notre Dame is them opting out of the bowl game they did get selected for. They're going to potentially play BYU in Charlotte, and that would have been a heck of a game.
Yeah.
And so for Notre Dame to say, no, we're good, to me, it's okay. That's playoff or bust. You know, I don't feel bad for them, and truthfully, it doesn't make me want to um cheer for them to make the playoff because they're just I don't know. It's such an elitist mindset.
We'll get into Tennessee's bowl game here in a few minutes. Like you always want a fun destination. Um, it's fun for the players, but it's 15 more practices that you get. Did Notre
Yeah, that
Dame just forfeit those practices as well?
that to me is more elitist mindset. Just we don't need these. That's fine. It's such a take the ball and go home. I don't
Yeah.
know. It kind of reminds me of Florida State. All their players opted out, and then
Yeah.
they got their tails kicked versus Georgia. At least they showed up to the game, but
Yeah,
anyway,
it was a little bit better than what Notre Dame's doing. Yeah.
yeah, Notre Dame's just saying no, we're not even going to go, and that to me is again, I get it if you're a 5-7 squad and you got offered a bowl game and you said no, I get that.
Yeah.
Not great, but I get it.
And
Uh,
which bowl was that they were going to play BYU?
is it the Mayo Bowl? It's in Charlotte.
Okay.
If that's true, that's actually a pretty good game. Maybe it wasn't Mayo Bowl in Orlando, I think. I might be
Oh,
wrong,
the Orange
but
Bowl? Yeah, because
it's the
dude.
Citrus Bowl.
Oh yeah. Because
Let
Orange
me
Bowl's
look
in
that up.
Miami.
It's in
Citrus Bowl.
Orlando. Yeah, check. Let me just double check that real quick.
Well, while you're checking on that,
Yeah,
a little bit
Pop
of trivia.
Tarts Bowl is at BYU versus Georgia Tech, which is a good game. That's December
Yeah.
27th. So,
Speaking of the Citrus Bowl, I have it is now gone, but there was an old spring training field, Tinker Field, one of the
yes.
biggest fields I've ever played on, that was in the shadows of the Citrus Bowl. And um uh my my team from outside Nashville, Tennessee went down there one spring break. This tournament was the first time that we had played outdoors because it's so cold and rainy
Yeah.
in Nashville that we couldn't get outside to practice. So our first time outside is live game action, and we were 2 outs away from winning the tournament um, against Florida teams that play year round. And this guy hits a walk-off grand slam. A couple months later, he's drafted and spent, I don't know, 12 years or so in the majors. His name's Billy Butler, first baseman for the Royals, the Oakland Athletics. I don't know who else, but yeah, that's my Citrus Bowl memory. Um,
Tinkerfield. Yep.
Before we get to all the bowls, um, Kirby Smart went into the SEC championship game with a record of 1-7 against Alabama. I had his number. I didn't realize it was Alabama. 28-7, and that 7 came in the fourth quarter. Uh, it was is not pretty. Um, but Georgia just kind of doing whatever they have to do to win this year has been pretty impressive. Um, what were your thoughts watching that game?
Um, it just proved to me that Georgia is legit. Georgia has a good possibility of beating Ohio State and making a good run for another championship. That and Alabama, um, they're beatable. They are a good team. So they could probably get a win or two in the playoffs, but I don't see them making the championship. So
Yeah. I, I'm really interested to see what Georgia does against a high-powered offense like an Ohio State or an Indiana, which, by the way, was not a offensively high-powered um, game.
no, it wasn't. But I know we're not a Big Ten podcast here, but I was really rooting for Indiana, and I was really excited for them to beat Ohio State. I don't like Ohio State, and yeah, so that was fantastic.
Yeah.
So
So Indiana gets the win over Ohio State. I believe that was 13-10 was the final.
I kept thinking, man, the refs are going to screw Indiana, and Indiana is going to lose this game because the media just loves Ohio State, which they do.
Yeah.
But for Indiana and then Ohio State missed that field goal. I don't know if you saw that, but that so
Um
that and that
James, so you've
um
got maybe it happens with Ole Miss. Um
I anticipate Ole Miss being able to handle Tulane again back in place at least for the. I'm not. But
this is
Ohio
the issue.
State doesn't have A&M, Miami, and then the winner of Georgia and whoever, which I'm assuming Georgia wins out. SEC schools only to face most likely Indiana again or Texas Tech. But I don't know that. Maybe Alabama can sneak in there.
I think Oregon Texas Tech should be a good game. I'm interested to see what happens Indiana against Oklahoma or Alabama. Alabama's defense more suspect than I would have thought against Georgia, but Oklahoma's defense is still good. Oklahoma's offense, who knows what's going to show up um, against Alabama. But all these repeat matchups for the SEC, it would be hard to avoid it because you've got five SEC teams. Um,
Did A&M and Georgia play? I don't think they did.
I don't believe they did.
So you
Um,
could see a semifinal, assuming A&M could beat Miami and then beat Ohio State. You could see A&M and Georgia most likely,
yeah,
and that would be good.
yeah, and
That potentially should have been the SEC championship. So
if Texas
if
A&M
Texas
didn't
didn't
lay an
spoil
egg,
it, yeah,
yeah.
right.
So you've got five SEC teams, three Big Ten teams, and then one team each from the Big 12 and the ACC, and then this was kind of the sticking point: two Group of Five teams because people are saying Notre Dame should be in. Personally, I think Vanderbilt should be in. This is after witnessing the beatdown that was in Knoxville. Um, Also, Pavia should win the Heisman. I
Well,
know
let's
that.
pretend Vanderbilt's facing Oregon. Does Vanderbilt beat Oregon? Like, I don't know. Maybe. I think Vanderbilt will beat James Madison for sure.
Yeah. Um, does,
Crazy good, or they can be,
if they're playing Tennessee, they're crazy good.
yeah, that's my point. That's my point. What Oklahoma are we going to get versus Alabama? Because Oklahoma did beat Alabama, but are they going to be able to do that again? And then who shows up against Indiana? And Indiana we know is good.
Yeah.
So, but Indiana, in fairness, I mean, because they beat Oregon, they beat Ohio State. Those are good teams,
Yeah.
and but we haven't seen Indiana play like an SEC team. So, I want to see Indiana thump an SEC school, and then I'll buy in even more. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. Vanderbilt, I think, would get Ole Miss, but there's no enough about Ole Miss post Lane Kiffin.
Too much for some raw. He can play it. He's get him. That's my bet. Maybe we will all be surprised. Maybe Tulane just shows out.
Yeah.
But even if they did, they then have Georgia, and I don't see that going well for Tulane. So,
Yeah.
but truthfully, I think Georgia wins. No, almost regardless of who they play. But
Yeah.
man, I'd love. I don't mind being wrong. Maybe Ole Miss just took this whole Lane Kiffin thing to heart, and we're like, you know what? We're not taking this. We're gonna go win a championship.
Yeah.
Good for Ole Miss if that happens.
Um, so I'm looking at this and um, I think I don't know what Ohio State comes to play because look, Ohio State was not playing good football at the end of last season, and then whatever Ryan Day said in that locker room before they went up against Tennessee, fired up the team. Can he do that again?
Well,
I don't
I mean, Texas only lost by one score to Ohio State. So, and I don't think Ohio State has had the toughest schedule.
know.
Um, yeah, you could say a win against Texas. That's a good win. Okay, I'll give you that. They played Indiana and lost. So I don't know, man. They beat Michigan, but how good was Michigan? We don't know. I want to see Ohio State play these SEC schools and see where they're at.
Yeah,
So, because they might be as good as last year, but I don't think so.
I agree. I don't and Ohio State wasn't good the whole season like they were this year. Um, that they slipped up against Michigan.
Yeah,
I
I
can't
know
remember.
Ohio State is good. I'm not saying
Yeah,
they're not good. I know
no,
they're
yeah,
good.
no, they're good. I don't know.
But
We'll see.
I want to see how they play when they play these really good and you're only good if you made the playoffs. So any of the teams they play are going to be good. So
Yeah,
but let's see how they play when they play really good SEC school.
I want to.
Georgia's a really good SEC school. How do they play
Yeah,
against them?
I want to see him go up against Georgia. I would love to see A&M win against Miami, and then see. Uh, I'm hoping it's the A&M.
That almost guarantees if A&M can beat Ohio State, assuming they get past Florida, or I'm sorry, Miami,
Yeah,
that almost guarantees an SEC champion this year, I think. Because you got A&M and M and Georgia, the winner of that,
you think
I I th-
they're battle
I
tested?
almost think they can handle the other bracket.
Yeah.
So, but wouldn't it be funny to see like A&M versus Texas Tech? That would be kind of former Big 12.
Oh, the old Big 12. Um,
I'm
back.
not counting out Texas Tech, man. I'm not. I think they're good. I would love to see them play Oregon. I think that's going to be a hell of a game.
Yeah,
But
I'm
Oregon was my early pick for the national championship. I don't know how I feel about that now,
well.
but
So you've got both their coordinators who
yeah,
have just been.
they've lost both their coordinators. So yeah, that discounts Oregon, I think. That takes a toll.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough. Um,
Well, and Ohio State lost Brian Hartline too. And I don't even know if they're going to let Hartline coach in the playoffs, which I think is silly. But I saw something about that on X today. So
yeah.
because Hartline's taken over Alex Golesh role at USF. So
USF. Yeah. Th this is. I can see this be an increasingly frustrating problem of the coaching turnover between the end of the regular season and the playoffs because you've got at least one, two, three, four, um, four coaches gone, and that's when I only count one from Ole Miss leaving. Um, because I'm trying to think. Well, James Madison is losing their coach.
yeah,
Um,
that's another
so
reason I don't.
so
Yeah,
James Madison's losing a coach. Oregon's losing two. Um, I don't think Texas Tech, Alabama, Oklahoma, Indiana are losing. We got Tulane. We got Ole Miss. I don't think anybody's leaving from Georgia, Miami, or Texas A&M, and then you got Ohio State. So you've got half the bracket that has lost coaches. Um, that's that's a lot, and it's it's tough to do in or it's tough to regulate because of recruiting. It's not like the NFL where once your regular season's over, you're just waiting around for the draft. Um, so I don't know what they do. Um, uh, because also you've got all these coaching changes. The early signing day was this last week, which I haven't checked the news today. But Jared, have you heard about Legend Bay and what's going on there?
No. Fill
So
me in.
So, Legend Bay committed to Ohio State, has been for at least a couple months. On National Signing Day, um, I guess it just been announced that his coach, his wide receiver coach, because he played quarterback, but he's looking to play receiver in college. Um, his wide receivers coach at Ohio State is leaving. Um, Apparently his mom who has to co-sign his letter of intent because Legend Bay's only 17 is not going to sign for him to go to Ohio State. She wants him to go to Tennessee.
Oh, she held him hostage. I
So
love
held
it.
him, yeah. So he signed for Tennessee. Then apparently he posted on it may have been Instagram, it may have been on X. He posted somewhere and said, "Hey, this is probably gonna be taken down soon because my brother controls my social media." Um, but basically put out something of he still wants to go to Ohio State. Um, so we'll see. I think he turns 18 just in the next couple weeks. Um, no idea what's happening there. Um,
Well, I mean, give Tennessee a shot, man. You might like it.
eh,
I don't know.
yeah, I'm like, I feel pretty good about where we are with our skill players. Um, w- does adding him help us? I don't know. I've kind of learned with the Josh Heupel system, you need to get the right guys, not necessarily the best guys, um,
Yeah,
because
man, that's well said right there.
you need to find somebody who fits your system. So I since Heupel has gotten there and I've seen the way he recruits and develops players, I'm like I'm not worried about being in the top 10 recruiting class. We're still going to be good because he's going to go get good players, but it's less
Yeah, he's not
important to
going to
be.
take players that can't adapt to what he's doing.
Yeah.
That's all he cares about. So
Yeah.
yeah, I get it.
Um, Shifting gears a little bit, I want to go through SEC teams and where they are going bowling. Um, we know who's in the college football playoff. The Tax Slayer Gator Bowl, Missouri against the ACC. Um, that's in Jacksonville. I don't know. Jacksonville's fine. Uh, it's it's a warm weather bowl. That's what I want. I just want a warm weather bowl. Um, Kinder's Texas Bowl, LSU versus Houston. Um, both the Gator Bowl and the Texas Bowl on December 27th. The Music City Bowl on December 30th, Tennessee versus Illinois. Tennessee's played in the Music City Bowl a couple times. It's fine, but it's cold. It's usually rainy. The A lot of things, a lot of people were predicting Tennessee, Iowa in the ReliaQuest Bowl down in Tampa, which I didn't want to play Iowa, but I've been fine with that bowl. But
Who is playing? Was it Vanderbilt?
Vanderbilt's playing Iowa. That should
Okay.
be a good game.
Yeah, that
Uh,
will be a good game.
in the ReliaQuest Bowl. Pavia go show out.
Oh, he will. Yeah. because
The cheese,
he's gonna get snubbed for the Heisman. We already know that.
yeah. Um,
So they're gonna give it to Mendoza.
yeah, the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl, Texas versus Michigan. I like this. I like this matchup down in
Yeah.
Orlando. Um, and Duke's Mayo Bowl, Mississippi State versus the ACC. Um,
Do we know who they're playing?
I I don't know. This should have been updated. Uh, um, if we knew anything, but I figured we would know. But
Yeah, we know. It's Wake Forest.
it's Wake Forest. And
Yeah.
who is Missouri playing in the Gator Bowl?
Uh, let's find out. Gator Bowl. Good question. Hold that thought. They're playing Virginia, which is also a good game. Holy
Ooh,
cow, that'll actually be a really good game.
that will be a really good game.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to this bowl slate. Um,
Yeah, these for the most part are decent.
yeah,
I know you're not in love with Tennessee's draw, but Illinois was all right. But I think Tennessee will thump Illinois.
yeah.
So
I've been to the Music City Bowl once or twice. I'm looking forward to next year's Music City Bowl because it's going to be in the new Titan Stadium, which is an indoor
yeah,
stadium. Um, I went to
I did think you'd be partially excited that Tennessee's playing in your backyard because then it's easier for you to go. But I understand when
true.
you say, "Oh, it's rainy and it's cold," and maybe it's more fun to watch at home.
Yeah, no, I mean I've gotten just when I've gone before, I've gotten the cheap tickets. You're sitting way up in the nosebleeds and it's just bitter cold.
Yeah, that sucks.
I believe it was when we played Nebraska. This would have been 2018 maybe. Because Derek Barnett set the Tennessee record for most sacks, broke Reggie White's record for most sacks in a season. I only got to go to the first half because my wife and I were playing a show. Where
Mm,
were we? Out at Fontenelle, I believe, um, which is a uh, cool place. Um, I believe it's Barbara Mandrell's old estate, but had to
nice.
go play there. And so I had the score being updated, I believe, on my watch while we were playing. So in between each song, we were playing at the restaurant there, and somebody even asked, "Hey, are you checking the Tennessee score?" I said, "Yeah," and they asked me what the score was, and so I was giving updates from the stage.
As you
It,
should. Yep.
it's fun. I don't know. I don't know for the players, how bummed they are, but I know kind of the standard for Tennessee is, um, you want to get to a warm weather bowl. Normally that's Florida. And bowls like getting Tennessee because the fans travel so well. Um, I mean, there's a ton of Tennessee fans that live in the Nashville area, so they don't have to go very far. Which is why I don't understand the Music City Bowl going after Tennessee because you miss out on a lot of hotel revenue,
That's
um,
true.
and a
Yeah.
lot of restaurant revenue because they
They
just
already live there. Yeah.
yeah, they're gonna come in for the game,
That makes
they're gonna go
sense.
straight home. Um, oh well, we've got a couple weeks as the playoffs get started, um, and all that. By the way, the playoffs start on December 19th, so we've still got um week and a half, uh, almost for those to get started, and it's gonna get started with Alabama, Oklahoma. Um,
But
wah, wah.
if you're having trouble waiting for the playoffs, there are some bowl games happening prior to that.
There are, yeah. The bowls will kick off very, very soon. Um,
Yeah, like
and
maybe even next week soon.
I believe
which
so.
is interesting because you got Boise State versus Washington on December 13th. Isn't that when they announced the that's when they announced the Heisman, right?
In the Heisman usually a Sunday? Is the 13th a Sunday?
Uh, I think it's a Saturday.
I think it's a Saturday. I think the Heisman's on Sunday night.
Okay.
Um,
But usually that weekend is reserved for like Navy and Army. Um,
true,
so it looks like they're having a bowl game on the 13th. So
man. The armed forces getting some competition.
I'm sure they won't play at the same time. I'm sure that Army
No,
Navy will be during the day, and then that bowl game will be at night. That's still I don't know if that's normal. I don't remember it being like that. So
yeah. By the way, there's also tons of basketball. Um,
oh yeah, we're not even talking about basketball. And by the
going
way,
on. So,
gosh, Auburn just was terrible last night. They played Arizona and just got thumped. So
well, um, Tennessee didn't do much better. Um, just a quick rundown of scores over last week. Duke falls to, I mean, Florida falls to Duke. Florida at 5 and
yeah, that was only like 1 point though. That was a close game.
1 point.
Yeah,
Florida has played some great competition,
yeah, they're
and
playing tough teams.
um,
So
they got to be the best. Let's see, three loss team um right now. Tennessee fell to Syracuse. These are all ACC SEC matchups. North Carolina beats Kentucky. That was another good game. North Carolina winning by 3. Virginia Tech beat South Carolina by 3. Oklahoma just blew Wake Forest out of the water. A&M beat Pittsburgh by 8. Miami beat Ole Miss by 9. Georgia beat Florida State. Let me do the math by 34. um, I don't know if
Georgia's
Georgia's.
good, man. They're better than people think. So
Um, yeah, they're starting to look scary. Notre Dame beat Missouri by 5. Um, then we go to Wednesday. Arkansas beat Louisville. Uh,
yeah, I
I,
saw
I
some
think
of that.
I think Calipari doesn't like Louisville. If I had to guess, Alabama beat Clemson. Vanderbilt beat SMU. Vanderbilt's a good team, by the way. Auburn did beat NC State. Um, LSU beat Boston College. Virginia beat Texas. Mississippi State beat Georgia Tech. Um,
Yeah, overall the SEC won against the ACC matchups. So
yeah. Um, then the Music City Madness tournament, Gonzaga won the first game against Kentucky. Um, then Tennessee fell to Illinois. I'm bummed about this for two reasons. One, this is pretty much a home game for Tennessee. Two, the complaint pretty much the whole time Rick Barnes has been at Tennessee is we got guys that can shoot, but we've got no presence in the paint. We we're getting out rebounded, um, just getting out muscled down low. Now we finally have that, and we've got several guys who can go in there and battle, and we can't shoot outside the paint to save our life. Um, and Tennessee just fell apart against Illinois. Auburn fell apart against Arizona, which you just
yeah,
mentioned.
that game was at Arizona and we were outmatched. It was wasn't even close.
And
So
Arizona's just crazy good.
it's discouraging as an Auburn fan to see your team beat like NC State and we've beaten St. John's and we've beaten some teams that, were competitive and then we play against a school like Michigan or a school like Arizona and then just get blown out and it's like,
Yeah.
man, like okay, I know Michigan, Arizona are both vying for like that number one seed, number one spot and is the gap that big?
Yeah.
Because it feels that way.
Yeah.
Are we, what does that mean for the season? Are we really just that bad, or we just, can this be corrected? And I don't know, but
A lot of
that
turnover
doesn't
from
mean
last
doom
year's
and
team.
gloom for the whole season. I think Auburn's still a good team. It's going to do, good enough,
Yeah,
but it just stinks to see. Okay, I know these are elite teams, and we're not even coming close. So
yeah. It's tough to watch. Auburn has a lot of new faces. Um, in that,
yeah, depending on who they play, they have really good chemistry, really good team. But you get matched up against the elite, and I'm talking, Arizona, Michigan. They didn't even come close.
and
So I'm hoping they can figure that out.
yeah, in basketball, one of those games where you spend a while just mixing and matching your lineups, trying to figure out what that lineup needs to be um, to really put a team together. And I think Auburn's trying to figure that out. I know Tennessee's trying to figure that out.
I will say, a little off topic, but I am going to go see the Gators play on Saturday the 13th. They're playing here locally in Fort Lauderdale at Sunrise,
Hi.
the Amerit Bank Arena. So there's a double matchup. It's like the Orange Bowl Classic, I think is what they call it. But it's Florida State is playing UMass, and then Florida's playing Georgia Washington. So I'm gonna take my wife and daughter and go to that game. Go enjoy some Florida basketball or some SEC basketball.
Yeah.
But prior to that, Florida is playing UConn on Tuesday night, which is a massive, massive matchup. UConn's top five team,
Yeah.
and then Saturday for SEC basketball people, you want to pay attention because Arkansas is playing Texas Tech. That's a top 25 matchup. You've got Indiana and Kentucky. That's going to be good. And then
Yeah.
you've got Arizona and Alabama, which right now I'm predicting Arizona just probably stomps them. But I don't know. Maybe an Alabama team can hang with them. But
We
those are
we'll
all
see.
really good games coming up this week.
Those are really good games.
So top, all of those are ranked teams. So
Yeah. Um, uh, Also, St. John's beat Ole Miss. Arkansas just stomped Fresno State. South Carolina did the same to Stetson. Arizona State is pretty dang good. Beat Oklahoma. Um, Alabama beat UTSA. Texas Tech, who we were just talking about, beat LSU. Kansas beat Missouri. Um, Kansas is moving up the rankings. They've got a
yeah,
good
Kansas is
squad.
good. Yep.
Uh, I've I saw them do a lot of damage to Tennessee. Mississippi State fell to San Francisco by 3. That's
Hmm.
not a team you want to lose to. And A&M, little brother A&M fell to even littler brother SMU by 13.
Yeah,
Um,
that game was tonight, I think.
yep.
Yeah, I was watching a little bit of that earlier, and SMU was uh taking care of business. So,
Yeah, that went to overtime, and Texas A&M had a total of 3 points in overtime. Not good. Um,
mm,
so there's been a lot of college basketball, a lot of really great matchups early on.
yeah,
Um, and I do feel like in basketball, you play a lot more games, but you schedule hard games early in the season. If you lose, big deal. If you win, great deal. Um, because and I know Rick Barnes um has talked about this. I think when he was at where was he early on? PRI maybe. Um, but he had an easy early season schedule and they missed March Madness by a spot or two. And at that time he vowed, okay, I'm not going to have an easy schedule. I'm going to schedule the best teams I can early in the season so that they can't hold my schedule against me. Um, and Tennessee's done that uh, the last few years. Um, I mean, we're playing the Illinois and the Kansas and the Houstons and all that, and only winning one of those. But it's fun. College basketball puts up some good competition to this end of the season college football um, schedule. So if you haven't started watching college basketball, you need to. You got Texas hosting Southern, um, Kentucky, North Carolina Central, Florida, Yukon, as you mentioned. Um, those are the games coming up. Missouri, Alabama State. Wah, wah. Texas plays Yukon on Friday. Um, so Yukon getting playing the SEC schedule.
Yeah.
And Saturday, Arkansas, Texas Tech, you mentioned, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, Georgia, Cincinnati, Florida, Georgia, Washington, Ole Miss, Southern Miss, Auburn, Chattanooga, Vanderbilt, Central Arkansas, South Carolina, the Citadel, Kentucky, Indiana, which you mentioned. Um, SMU just beat Texas A&M. Now they're going to take on LSU, Arizona, Alabama, Mississippi State, Utah. Saturday's a good day to kick back and um, watch some college basketball. Uh, there's going to be plenty of it, and that's just the SEC's slate. Um, this is a great time for sports.
Man, no kidding. I love it.
Um, going back to football, I guess I'm happy we're in a bowl. Um, not sure if I'll make it out to the Music City Bowl or not. Um, it's
Well, definitely don't if it's going to be rainy and cold.
oh
So
man,
just enjoy that game at home.
yeah. That's probably what I'll do.
And in fairness, you did go to the Vandy game, so it's not like you haven't seen your team. So
Well, and I didn't get to see all that much because the only time my team did anything good was
you were
when I was out of my
collecting.
seat.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, no, it is fun though. Uh, maybe I pick up some tickets last minute because I don't think the Music City Bowl sells out generally. I could be wrong.
Probably not. But yeah, if you get them or you get them for free, even that might make it worth it. So
Yeah, that would be nice.
you
Who
might
do I know?
you might have some connections at work or somewhere that
Yeah. You have free tickets for us. Podcast at third Saturday in October.com. It's the best way to send them to us.
yeah, we
Um,
welcome them. We appreciate you.
yes. I again, I'm happy to be in a bowl. I don't know a lot about Illinois. We texted about this earlier. I need to do some research on Illinois
They
to
started
see.
out kind of hot. I know that, and Bielema's the coach. He was at Arkansas and previously at Wisconsin.
Yeah,
So I think Illinois is a good mid mid to top level. I'll say mid level Big Ten team.
yeah.
So
I
so my guess is Tennessee will handle Illinois.
I hope so. Because now I'm remembering they played South Carolina in the bowl game last year, and
Illinois?
Bielema was not the best sport, if you ask me.
Well, I don't know that he ever has been. So
Um, and I would love to knock his team in the mouth.
well, you get your chance. So and in a raucous Tennessee crowd potentially. We'll see.
Yeah. Um, let's uh hopefully um we stay healthy through that. Because I know last year we lost a corner in our playoff game. Um, I believe that's when Jermai McCoy went down, but uh, it should be fun. I hope the team has a blast and welcome to Nashville.
Yep.
Jared, any final thoughts on I know we texted the the playoff committee. I think they got it right. I still think that Vanderbilt should have snuck in somehow, but
Yeah.
the way it's set up, I think they got it right. The
Wouldn't it be great
five,
though if even though Vandy didn't get it, if somehow Diego ekes out this Heisman, and I hope he does, I really
yeah.
do, because I think he deserves it. So I'm really rooting for Diego to get the Heisman,
By the way,
and yeah.
Vanderbilt was trying to find any team they could
Oh,
play
I saw that. Yeah,
this weekend. It's like,
yeah,
hey,
they were reaching out to Miami, Utah. Think about that. That would have been cool. I don't know that it would have made a difference. It probably wouldn't have, but that would have been fun to watch.
yeah,
So,
yeah, that
kudos to Coach Lee for even
yeah,
throwing that out there.
and the
So,
AD, it's like we want to boost Pavia's numbers. We want to boost our chances of looking good. Um,
and
that
it
would have
it
been
it certainly would have done at least one of those.
yeah,
So,
yeah. I still think that um Pavia as the season came to a close and he was kind of wrapping up his season. I was like, man, he has had a heck of a season. He deserves
no, he's had a heck of a career, and
the Heisman.
yeah, I hope he wins it. I really do.
Yeah.
So, and maybe he does because it's not like although I think Uh, Mendoza's the darling because of the win over Ohio State. It's not like the offensive output was that amazing in that game.
No.
So maybe that serves Pavia well. I
Yeah.
hope it does.
He had 300, was it 300 yards? Um, may not have been that much. In one touchdown. Um, so how how you want to value that, I don't know.
I do not think Mendoza personally is better than Pavia or me is let me rephrase that. I think Vanderbilt suffers greater if they lose Pavia than Indiana suffers if they lose Mendoza, if that makes sense. So I think from that aspect, it's an easy, you know,
Yeah.
it's an easy answer to me that Diego means more to his team than Mendoza does to Indiana. Although I know he's had a great season, and I'm not discounting that. So, but yeah, I'd love to see Pavia win it. I think that would be really awesome. I hope they give it to him.
Yeah.
So
Um, this is one Tennessee fan that is on the Pavia train.
yeah, yeah, me too. Now that I don't have to play him anymore, absolutely, dude, go win it, dude, go get it.
Hey, you never know. He may sue the NCAA for 3 more years of eligibility.
I hope not. Oh Lord. Oh, I can't take it. Yeah.
Me either.
Nope.
Uh, hey, it has been a wild and if nothing else, intriguing SEC regular season. Still a lot of football left for anyone who loves college football.
Yeah, I got
Um,
playoffs coming up, get some decent bowl games. And if you're willing to lower your standards, even the FCS is kind of interesting because the number one seed North Dakota State got knocked out this weekend against
yep.
Illinois State. So now it's kind of wide open. And that to me is fascinating. I'm not usually big on watching the FCS playoffs, but I'm kind of intrigued by it this time.
Yeah, and the FCS championship game is held at Vanderbilt's stadium.
Yeah, that to me is a good call because I know they've had it in Texas the last however long. So,
Yeah.
but
Um,
anyway, yeah, I watched a little bit of FCS football last night. Actually, I watched UC Davis play, and they whooped up on Rhode Island, and it was it was entertaining. I was like, okay, I'm not picking UC Davis. That's not my team, but there's some good schools that are in that playoff. So,
yeah. Um, oh, by the way, my alma mater, my Brentwood Academy Eagles, did fall in the state championship game to Baylor of Chattanooga. Baylor, who is loaded with
hmm.
D1 talent. Um,
I think
and
I think Auburn signed a player from Brentwood actually. Let's see, Auburn our long snapper. I think you went to Brentwood. Let's
There you
see.
go. Uh,
Nashville, Tennessee. I'll find out.
could be. Speaking of Nashville, Nashville Christians, Jared Curtis, the recent flip from Georgia to Vanderbilt, uh,
Awesome for Vandy, by the way. Yeah.
showed out in his state championship game. So
Oh, I'm wrong. Okay, so the long snapper we got is from Lipscomb Academy. So
that yeah, Lipscomb
Travis
Academy.
Wakefield. Yeah.
Um, they're just down the street. I play baseball with a bunch of guys who went to Lipscomb.
Okay.
Um, my dad is David. He may or may not be named for his great 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 uncle, David Lipscomb.
Okay,
Trivia.
sweet.
Um, so no, a lot of good football in the mid state of Tennessee. And some players going on to play. Baylor School just loaded.
Hey, we didn't talk about this, but are you
Yeah.
happy overall with your signing class?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
I mean, we touched on it, but yeah, I was just
I believe it was mostly defense that we signed.
okay.
I want to I want to say it was like 16 or 19 players on defense that we signed. Um, which is impressive if you ask me, because you know, Heupel, even though I know last year the defense carried us, it's like you still think, okay, I want to go to Tennessee if I'm an offensive player. Well, there were some people calling for Tim Banks's job last week. I think that's dumb. Um, I do think that because of the defensive struggles this year, we get to hang on to Tim Banks for another year, which I'm very thankful for. But I would expect um, next year not to be a repeat of this year. And I'd be surprised if we've got Tim Banks for longer than a year um, from this point, just because I think somebody's going to snatch him up to give him an opportunity to be a head coach. And the way that he coaches his players and um, schemes up things, yeah, I think he deserves a head coaching job. So, um, props to him for what he did in this recruiting class.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
how did you feel Auburn did in the midst of coaching turnover?
B- my I was trying to think the right way to word this. I was cautiously optimistic.
Yeah,
I didn't have great expectations because of all that's happened. That being said, we did get some guys, and I think we got some talent. Um, and I love the fact that even though we didn't get that blockbuster massive name, although some could argue that Jarquez Wilkes is that he's a linebacker. Um, he's a stud. But there, we did get some good players that I think will fit. And I'm not saying we didn't get good star
yeah,
players because we did get a couple that were really awesome. And then some of them are more just like wait and see, but they got picked up for a reason. So yeah, so yeah, I'm happy with it. I would have. I think it's always kind of nice when you're just like, hey, my class is in the top 10 or top 25 or whatever, and Auburn wasn't there. We had several people that dropped out of the class that would
yeah,
have had them probably in that conversation, and so that was a bummer. But at the same time, it's just like now I can't be emotionally tied to any of these kids because we don't know what's going to happen with Alex Golish, and if Alex Golish starts winning, it's going to bring in a whole new flood of, it'll be like pick and choose, and kind of like Josh Heupel. It's like, hey, get the kids that are going to fit the system, not the
yeah,
the sexy pick every time. So,
yeah. And Alex Golish, I mean, I know this is not his recruiting class, but he's gonna
well,
go
he
get
did,
guys.
he did persuade a couple players that were going
Yeah,
to go to USF to come over, and there was some kickback to that, like, oh, they're going to use USF, but that doesn't mean they're not dogs that can't, hunt and can't play. And I'm sure he knows that, or he wouldn't tell them, "Hey, come to Auburn."
Yeah.
He got them for a reason. So I'm okay with it. I am. I think all in all, this should be a decent class. And how many of these kids are going to stay with the portal, we don't know.
Yeah.
Um, because there's kids that we recruited, that was really excited about 2 years ago, even last year, they're already saying they're going to hop in the portal, and it is what it is. So,
Yeah.
but then you pick up people in the portal, so you lose somebody, and then it's like, hey, let's go get this kid from over here, and they end up being really good. So,
And Golish has a good head on his shoulders. I think he's going to do some really good things for y'all at Auburn.
yeah, UCF's head coach Scott Frost, when he was asked about his recruiting class, he said college football's broken,
Yeah.
and I felt that pain when he said that because a school like UCF doesn't have, at least as of now, doesn't have the resources that some of these other schools have. And so when they're going out to get these recruits, especially in the state of Florida, that conversation is always coming up about NIL and all that stuff. So the kids that UCF got, um, they're the dogs that want to be at UCF, and that's what you want. But it's a lot of kids that probably got overlooked, and now he's got to develop them, and that to me is just another science. Like, man, it's a game of money. If you got
Yep.
the money, you'll go get these kids. If you don't, it's the haves and the have-nots. So, um, but that doesn't mean you can't develop some dudes. Doesn't mean you can't go to the portal and get some dogs that were maybe playing in a lower level or G5 or whatever.
Hey,
So,
even if your quarterback transfers out in April, you you can still find a way
yeah,
to cobble
yeah,
something together.
yeah, you can still end up playing Illinois in a bowl game. So,
Exactly. We're still going bowling. Here we go. Um, hey, you can find us online third Saturday in October.com, on social media at TSIO Pod. Venmo, we'd love for you to help keep this show going. Find us at TSIO Pod or buymeacoffee.com/TSIO Pod. Again, if you know a Notre Dame fan, send them the first few minutes of this show. If you've got a friend who's a Vanderbilt fan, send them the last few minutes where we were talking about a Tennessee fan and an Auburn fan saying Pavia for Heisman. Uh,
absolutely. Yeah.
who's got a
I'll
t-shirt?
wear that t-shirt. Yep.
Yeah, I will wear that t-shirt. I will wear that hat.
Yeah.
Um,
Now we don't have to play him anymore. I could be a Pavia fan.
hey,
So,
exactly. Um, I am Bradley saying heroes come in all sizes and roll balls.
War Eagle.
Tailgate, man cave, living room, pregame, burgers, ribs, chicken wings, chipping.